Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, the place where we go deep in all things manifestation, soul alignment and healing. Today's video is an exciting one because I've been getting this question again and again and again, and I think it's time to answer it. The question is how to know the difference between your soul and your ego. How to know if it's your intuition. And so in today's video, we're diving deep in the differences between your soul and your ego, so that at the end of this video, you are able to recognize and discern when you're acting out of ego and when you're acting from your soul, so that you're able to hear, sense your intuition. So if you're ready to live your most aligned life and activate your intuition, keep on watching. So the most important point about this video is for you to understand that you're a multi-dimensional being. You are not just your body. In this moment, you're operating at many different planes at the same time. You have an emotional body, you have a mental body, you have your physical body, of course, you have an energetic body, and so on. And the reason I'm telling you this is because the faster you realize that you're a multidimensional being and your reality is not just happening at a physical level, the faster you can open up the connection with your higher self, with your soul. As humans, we have been conditioned to live out of ego and to only function from the level of our minds, to think, to rationalize, to understand. That's how we've been going through life. But the most important part that we're missing when we go through life living from our minds, we're missing the magic of life. I've said this in many videos and I'm gonna say it again. The physical realm, what we see with our eyes, is only the manifestation of what we do not see. So what we see is only the manifestation, the physical manifestation of all the cosmic laws, all the energetic processes, all the things that are happening in the unseen realm. The faster we realize that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, the faster we can drop the resistance and the grip of our ego. The more you will have access to your wholeness, to everything that you are. You are a spiritual being having a human experience, and your soul is aware of that. Your ego doesn't know. So as a soul, you came here on earth. You came into this incarnation to experience very specific situations, different circumstances, different experiences, so that you can grow as a soul, so that you can learn, so that you can experience yourself. And you are source, and so you are everything. So this human incarnation is just an experience for your soul to feel itself, to experience itself through different lenses, through different experiences, and all of it to come back to the truth that you are everything. And since you are everything, you have the ability to experience everything. And that's why you are here in this human experience. Your ego only operates in this physical realm, and so it's not aware of all of that. As long as you are in this realm, you will have an ego. And so it's a really big misconception to believe that if you ascend enough, if you are enlightened, that you will no longer have an ego. That is false. The reason why is because your ego is the energetic force that is helping you navigate this physical realm. It's part of your identity, to help you survive in this realm. Your soul operates from all the realms and already knows everything because it's connected to source. Your ego operates at this material physical realm, and so it operates at a mental level, a physical level, to help you be here, to help you, to keep you here in this physical realm. So we must understand this so we can drop all the conflict, internal conflict in our lives, and that we allow the ego to be the ego and the soul to be the soul. But as long as you are in the grip of the ego and seeing life through a mental perspective, then you will not have access to everything that you are. Because again, you're not just your body, you're not just your mind. You are so much more than that. For you to be able to really understand the differences between your ego and your soul, I want to paint a really clear picture and share with you all the differences and how your soul and your ego manifest at an energetic level, at a mental level, and at an emotional level. So mind, body, soul. We are multidimensional beings, and we're getting into all of those dimensions together. So for you to really understand the energetic forces that are helping you navigate this lifetime, we will, for the moment, float above our human experience, have a higher perspective from our human perception, and we will see this dance of energies, these different forces, from a bird's eye view perspective. So for a moment, we are seeing this at a higher perspective, at an energetic level. As I said in the beginning, you came here to have a human experience, and the whole point of the human experience is to experience duality, is to experience contrast, polarity, to bring you back to the realization that you are everything. So what better way to come back to the truth and remember the truth that you are everything than to experience the opposite? It's a really fun game. Maybe it doesn't always feel fun, but when we understand these concepts, we start getting the grip of this plane. First things first, the energetic imprint from which your ego operates is contraction. The energetic imprint from which your soul operates is of expansion. Contraction, expansion. Your ego, the energetic imprint, the energetic texture of your ego is contraction. And through this force, through this energy, you experience resistance. Again, the whole purpose, the main purpose of your ego is to help you survive. And so through contraction, through that resistance, you experience what we can call fear. And so through that contraction, it helps you to push you away, to move you away from the things that can create pain, that can create suffering, and that can put your life in danger. Because again, this energy is helping you survive. On the other end, the energetic imprint of expansion is your soul guiding you towards the experiences, the people, the situations, the remembering of what is for your highest good. Because again, you came here to experience certain things, to grow at a soul level, and to get closer and closer to the realization that you are everything, to experience everything. And so that energetic texture comes through ease, because contrary to your ego, your soul is already connected to everything. And so your soul operates from ease because it remembers the truth and operates from that truth. Your ego has no idea. It's only operating from a physical level in the material realm. The soul is connected to everything. And so resistance and ease are really the energetic imprints of your ego and your soul. When you become aware of these energetic textures, you can become aware of how you've been acting in your life and from which energetic force you are acting in your life. Are you acting out of ego? Are you acting from your soul? If you realize you've been acting out of fear, out of ego for most of your life, then welcome to the club because 99.99999% of us have been conditioned to live out of ego, to live out of fear. And that's a reality. And so as much as we can feel negative emotions about the fact that we realize that, to acknowledge that, we can be grateful that you are here today, that you were divinely guided here to remember your power, to remember your truth. And so now that you know better and will learn more, you can do better. And you can accept and embrace the fact that up until now, you didn't know that. But now you know. So from now on, you can act differently and we can let go of the resistance that come from the past and allow ourselves to open ourselves to more. And if you're not yet able to sense the subtle differences between the soul and the ego at an energetic level, which is normal, understanding how they manifest at a mental level will definitely help you understand this concept better. Because again, we have been conditioned to live from our minds, to rationalize, to understand, to conceptualize. And when we are operating out of that, it's often hard to relate with what's there because we are used to rationalize everything. So before we go into the differences of your ego and your soul at a mental level, let's clarify what is thinking. So what is your mind for? As we know, thinking, but what is thinking? So let's clarify that first. Your mind is a beautiful and intelligent tool, but when we live out of ego, we start using our minds against ourselves. And that's a clear sign that you are acting out of ego when your mind has become your inner critic, your worst enemy. That's a clear sign. And so what is thinking? Thinking is seeing images, hearing things, feeling things, through remembering all of those things, remembering feelings. It is all that you can experience at a physical level internally, meaning that you can remember all memories, create pictures, even though you're not seeing them in the present moment through your physical eyes. You can still imagine things. You can feel feelings through the images that you are creating in your mind. You can also remember smells, tastes, senses. So your mind is, in other words, a tool to experience everything that you can experience in the external realm within. And so everything that you can do with your senses externally, your mind helps you use your senses internally. The way your ego manifests at a mental level means that your inner perception and your inner dialogue, everything that's happening internally, is tinted of the energetic texture of contraction, resistance, fear. Meaning that in your mind, you often focus on problems, worst case scenarios, you overthink, and you see life through that inner perception of fear, meaning that life is hard, that things are impossible, that things are not easy, that you're not enough. And so that inner perception is not only the lenses through which you see yourself, but it's also the lenses through which you see life. And when you're operating out of ego, those lenses are fear, resistance. The other way you can become aware that you're acting out of ego at a mental level is to discern your inner dialogue. Again, when you're acting out of ego at a mental level, what's happening within will be tinted of fear, contraction, resistance. And so often your inner dialogue, how you talk to yourself, will be tinted of that resistance. Maybe you will talk to yourself in an anxious tone, angry tone, critical tone, judgmental tone. All of those ways that make you feel contracted, that make you feel small. So that's mainly how you can know that you're operating out of ego at a mental level. How you think and what you think is tinted of resistance, contraction. The inner perceptions that you're having, the things that you're imagining, and the things that you're saying to yourself make you feel resistance, make you feel contraction. On the other end, when you're operating from your soul at a mental level, you will operate from opportunities, meaning that instead of worst case scenarios, your attention and your focus is directed to opportunities, meaning that your inner perception, what you think and how you think, will always be directed to opportunities, to things that are for your highest good, to things that will help you. And so your inner perception of yourself and life will be tinted of that expansion, that ease, meaning that you understand that everything happens for you, not to you. And those images, the scenarios, the stories you tell yourself do help you feel more ease. Because your soul, again, already knows everything and so knows how to guide you, how to empower you to feel more of that ease. To remember that everything is under control and that you can let go of any fear that you have because you're being supported by your higher power that is helping you thrive in this lifetime. And so when you're operating at a soul level in your mind, what you imagine and how you talk to yourself will be tinted of that expansion. It will be tinted of that energy of ease, meaning that you can feel excited, you're passionate, you are feeling love, you're feeling joy, you're feeling peace. That's a really good way to know when you're acting or when your soul manifests itself in your mind through thinking and through your inner dialogue. Finally, and the most important one, the easiest way to differentiate your ego and your soul at an emotional level, meaning through your body, is to pay attention to your feelings, to your emotions. If in the beginning of the video, when I was talking about the soul and the ego at an energetic level, you felt like you are not able to sense energy or are not yet in the place where you can easily recognize energy, well, I'm here to tell you that you have been doing that every day of your life, because your emotions are literally the inner guidance system helping you discern energy. Emotion, energy in motion. And so your body is literally the vessel that is helping you sort through and discern what energies you are entertaining at every moment. So the easiest way to recognize if you're acting out of ego or from your soul in your daily life is to pay attention to your feelings, to your emotions, to become aware of how you're feeling on a moment-to-moment basis. When you start acknowledging, accepting how you feel, you will be able to process any resistance and move towards pleasure and ease. But the more you avoid feeling, the more you stay in your mind trying to conceptualize, trying to understand everything, the less you have access to the inner guidance system that is letting you know when you're choosing things that are creating more resistance, or when you are moving towards your path of least resistance, meaning your path filled with ease. As I said in the beginning, resistance is a way to help you move away from pain. So you experience pain to stop you and move you away from more pain. But as humans, we have an innate ability to learn to tolerate what feels uncomfortable. We have a high tolerance for pain, and so we can easily convince ourselves that we are comfortable in places that we actually learn to tolerate. They don't feel good, but the ego will convince you that you are comfortable in them because you have learned to tolerate that experience. As you know now, the ego uses fear to keep you safe, but since the ego doesn't operate outside the material realm, what you can conceptualize and understand, when you get out of your comfort zone, your ego sees that as a threat. Getting out of your comfort zone, going into the unknown, is often a threat for your ego. And so you will sense fear, resistance, when you are growing, expanding. Your soul already knows that everything is under control and that you're alright. And it's actually for your higher good to move out of your comfort zone. But the ego can be tricky and trick you into believing that it is a threat. So that's why it's so important to understand the role of your ego, the role of your soul, so they can each other do their job without over-empowering your inner guidance system. As a multidimensional being, you have the ability of feeling, and so because you're a multidimensional being, you have the ability to feel everything. Pain and the pleasure. And it's through that contrast that you're able to discern for yourself if you're moving away from what's for your highest good or if you're moving closer. And through that ability of feeling everything, you can sort through what's happening in your experience externally and internally, so that you have the ability, the discernment to move away from the things that no longer serve you, that are not serving you, and move towards the things that are for your highest good. You will know it's time to move on and move away when you're feeling resistance, pain, contraction. And you know that you're moving in the right direction, that is for your highest good, when you're entertaining ease, love, flow in your life. So again, as an emotional being, you have the ability to feel everything. But it's not because you feel fear that it means that this is your experience. It just means that you're filtering, sorting through information that is giving you information. The ego will take the fear, the pain as an evidence of its own excuses, its own reasons. The soul will sense that pain, that resistance, as an opportunity for growth. As a hard look, honest look to yourself, to know that you've been entertaining situations, relationships, circumstances that are stopping you, that are slowing you down, that are keeping you away from your truth. And so again, your soul will always root for your biggest expansion. Your soul will always root for your survival. And most of the time, choosing to live in survival is stopping you from expansion. It's stopping you from expanding into your full potential. So to conclude, at an energetic level, your ego operates from contraction with the energetic texture of resistance, and your soul operates from expansion with the energetic texture of ease. At a mental level, your ego's attention is on problems and your soul's attention is on opportunities, because your ego wants to avoid danger and your soul is looking for expansion. And finally, at an emotional level, your ego operates from fear and your soul operates from love. Again, it all comes back to contraction and expansion. What are you feeling on a day-to-day basis? And when you become aware of what you're feeling, then how can you use that information to become aware of what's happening inside your mind, how you're using your mind to navigate in this reality, so that you can move away from that resistance and start implementing a perception, an inner dialogue, actions that are moving you in your path of least resistance. I hope this video was insightful. If it was, let me know in the comments what is the information that is helping you the most in this moment, and let me know how it goes when you start implementing this and start becoming aware of these subtle shifts on a day-to-day basis. Keep me updated and let me know what shifts for you after today. Knowing this truly changed my life, and it's an unfolding and ongoing experience. Every day I gain more awareness of my soul and my ego, and become aware of all the sneaky ways your ego often tries to convince you it is your soul. It's a fun game. I'm telling you, it's a fun game, but the more you stay open, the more you gain wisdom and knowledge around this, and the easier it gets to know when you're receiving hints that comes from ease. So to add on this, your intuition never feels like pressure, never feels like resistance. It often feels as ease, as something really neutral, almost with no texture, almost with no pressure into it, because it comes from a place of ease, of inner knowing. And so when you already know, it's obvious. Fear uses a surge of energy. Ease is almost the absence of energy. And so the intuition often feels that way. Really peaceful, really neutral. But since we were used in the past to pay more attention to those problems, to those contractions, then it was harder to believe that inch of information that felt like a breeze. But now, as you pay attention more and more, you will start realizing that those hints of information that feel so airy, if I could say, are often the ones that have the most impact in your reality. So just try it out, just experiment, test it out, and I'm sure the moment you start seeing the ego for what it is, the fear for what it is, it's gonna become easier and easier to stay in alignment with your soul and with your intuition. As I say again and again, energy doesn't lie. So thank you so much for being here. I'm glad that you were divinely guided to know about this subject a little bit deeper. Again, let me know in the comments how it goes, and if you have any special requests for future videos. I love to hear your thoughts, to hear your experiences, and hear your feedback, so don't hesitate, and make sure you like this video if it helped you, and subscribe so you don't miss any tips on manifestation, soul alignment, and healing. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for your support. Another day, another opportunity to create magic. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!